What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode, man. So, the Detroit Pistons, tough game tonight, man. Tough game. The Detroit Pistons tonight lose to the Milwaukee Bucks in blowout fashion at home in their final game of group play in the NBA Cup tournament. Tough loss, man. We all knew the ramifications of this game. Win or lose for the Pistons. I just highlighted that in my last video. Go check that out. Yeah, man, the Pistons had opportunity here to represent Group B in the NBA Cup knockout bracket, and it just wasn't in the cards tonight. You know, the Pistons, they played hard, but the Bucks proved to be the better team tonight. So let's get into it. Initial thoughts, right? So the Pistons, they got off to a good start. They played with good energy, played with good effort. They shared the basketball. They played hard, tough defense. They rotated properly after an initial closeout or breakdown. They were just locked in early, and you could tell, you could see it. And the Pistons, they definitely had a different energy for this game. You know, just contrasting from the last game against Philly to this game tonight. Just the guys that were available, there was a different energy tonight, and you could see that tonight coming into this game. So they were locked in. Unfortunately, so were the Bucks. The Bucks were locked in tonight, man, from start to finish. And this game really got away from the Pistons in the third quarter. The Pistons hung with them early, but midway through the second quarter, the lead just kind of continued to swell and swell and swell, and they pulled away a little bit more and more. And by the third quarter, they were up 20. But the Bucks just looked like the more polished, experienced team, the team that's had more time to play together. The Pistons just have not had that yet. And the Bucks tonight looked like a totally different team from the team we saw a few weeks ago. And not just because Dame didn't play in that first game, but they just looked more in sync on both ends of the floor. And Gary Trent was a problem defensively, man. He was a hound tonight defensively in our guards, made some things difficult for our guards. So he was definitely an impact player in this game. But Dame's offense, man, it didn't seem like it has in the past to come at the expense of Giannis's offense. You know, all of Dame's offense was in the flow of the offense. He and Giannis didn't seem like they were getting in each other's way, like how they would often look last season. Understandably, right? Because they were still learning how to play together. Anyway, Milwaukee's going to be a problem come playoff time, man. As their chemistry continues to build through practices and game reps, watch out for them. They're my dark horse to get to the conference finals at least this year. And one more thing on Giannis, too. He looked like the MVP of the league tonight. And I get it. I know he gets one of the best whistles historically in the league. I get it. And he got away with a couple offensive fouls too tonight. It was a few times where he would use his off arm to create space on the Sar, just push him out the way. And as the Sar's trying to recover, they call a foul on the Sar. Seconds later, that happened a few times to a few of our guys where the obvious offensive foul was there, it wasn't called, and then a defensive foul, which was questionable in a lot of the cases, was called. So I get it. But at one point in this game, he was 10 for 10 from the field. And it wasn't all just dunks either. Giannis has turned one of his greatest weaknesses into one of his greatest strengths. That midi jumper, that irritating midi jumper. And that's what makes tonight interesting for me, though, because the first time when he featured it earlier this season, a few weeks ago, I thought that jumper was fluky. I thought he was just having a night. I thought he was just having one of those games where everything was falling for him. And it was annoying. But tonight, it was even more automatic. He looked tonight like he was on a mission to show that he has a complete offensive game now. What makes Isaiah Stewart such a good cover for Giannis is his foot speed and his strength to make drives tough to the basket, right? But now he's just simply pulling up with the elbow and knocking it down. The fact that he hasn't lost a step at all athletically is going to make him a nightmare for the league. I want to say this too, man. I love the way Coach Bickerstaff coaches this team. He really enjoys teaching them. In one of the huddles, because he was mic'd up, you could actually hear him say, our technique needs to be elite right now. So he just really seems to enjoy teaching this team foundationally, right? All the way down to the details. So I'm excited to see how this team continues to grow under him. Let's get to the box. So Cade had 23 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 4 turnovers on 9 of 16 shooting, 3-6 from 3, 2 of 6 from the free throw line. So the only black mark on the stat sheet was his free throw shooting, 2 of 6. He struggled for some reason tonight at the line. He shot great everywhere else. But overall, he had a solid game. Ran the offense well. He did have some turnovers here and there that I know he wouldn't have back. But overall, he played solid, man. He was getting to his offense. He was aggressive offensively. He was getting other guys involved. He was getting his bigs involved, or he was getting JD involved, which we'll get to later. His shot was falling for him. He was getting it off the dribble. He was getting it in the paint, in the post, hitting it from deep. He played well tonight, man. He really tried his best to lead this team to a victory. You could see he was locked in early. He wasn't playing around, and he was trying to help this team get off to a good start, which is something that I always talk about as far as with this team, is just getting off to good starts. And tonight they did that. They got to a solid start. So Cade did his thing tonight. Jaden had a quiet night tonight. He had 8 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 2 turnovers on 3 of 10 shooting, 1 of 3 from 3, 1 of 2 from the line. So he had a quiet night. He really just wasn't able to get his offense going for him. It's tough with Milwaukee because of how big they are as a team, and they made things really tough for him when he was trying to get downhill and go to the basket. So he just really struggled tonight. And then on the perimeter, Gary Trent was pounding him all night. So tough game for Jaden. He didn't play his best. He didn't try to do too much though. He only took 10 shots. So I think he may have realized this was not going to be his game. But he did have 5 assists. So he was looking to get guys involved, but he did that well. And he only had 2 turnovers. So not a great game from him, but not an all-out bad game from him either. Jalen Duren started this game out very well, man. He had 11 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 3 blocks, 3 turnovers on 5 of 6 shooting in 20 minutes. And that's why I say started off this game well. Because for the minutes that he was in the game, he played solid, right? He was playing really good defense, really aggressive defense, guarding Giannis on the perimeter, moving his feet, playing defense with his feet, not with his hands. And he was just going all out. Like, you could see the effort was definitely there tonight, man. It was good to see that from JD. It was just the foul trouble, man. Giannis is a very tough cover. Giannis is tough for our bigs because he's bigger than Stu, and he's a little bit quicker than JD as far as foot speed, right? JD has pretty good foot speed for his size, but Giannis is just built like a small forward, and he's 6'11" on a bad day. I did like what I saw from JD though, right? He had a couple chase down blocks. And once again, this is a few games now we're saying JD would chase down blocks, which means the effort is there. Chase down blocks require effort. And tonight he was going all out. So it was good to see that from him, right? Hopefully he can keep this effort up throughout the rest of the season, because if he does, we're going to be a playoff team. If we get the JD we got tonight for the rest of the season, minus the fouls, right? But he's not playing Giannis every night. The Pistons will be a playoff team. Book it. That's how important he is to this team. Tobias Harris has 16 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, 1 turnover, 5 of 10 shooting, 2 of 5 from 3, 4 of 4 from the line. So good game from Tobias. This is about what I would expect to see from Tobias, give or take 2 or 3 more shots going in, right? There was a few shots tonight that I thought he really could have knocked down that he didn't, but I'm not going to nitpick Tobias. He played good tonight. He played really solid defense. He's playing team defense a lot better, and he's really committed to that end. So I'll take 16 points and 5 rebounds and 3 assists from him when I'm getting the team defense that I'm getting from him. Tim Hardaway Jr. had 15 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. So he played a solid game. He played his game, right? He knocked down shots within the flow of the offense. He didn't take bad shots. He shot 5 for 10 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 3 of 3 from the free throw line. As far as the bench, Asar had 8 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 2 turnovers, 4 or 6 from the field in 15 minutes. So he played well, man. He had great energy coming into this game. And even though I've seen it before, it's just amazing how quick he gets off the floor. Man, he was bouncing off a trampoline tonight, catching oops, getting offensive rebounds. He was diving on the floor, getting loose balls, turning defense into offense, and then pushing the break. I mean, he's very much a Swiss Army knife. He can do a lot of things for you offensively and defensively. So it was good to see that. He even had a drive to the hoop when he finished with his left hand. Yeah, I was reminded tonight of why I was looking forward to Asar getting back to the floor safely. Tonight was why. Just because he brings so many different things to your basketball team, and he's just an impact player. Malik Beasley struggled tonight. He had 4 points, 3 rebounds on 2 of 10 shooting, 0 of 4 from 3. So this is one of his off nights. He doesn't have too many of them, so I'm not too concerned with that. He's had more 20-plus games, and he's had 5 negative games, right? So I'm not worried about B. He's just a bad shooting night, unfortunately, in the big game for the Pistons. Isaiah Stewart gave us 9 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 turnovers on 3 of 5 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. I think the difference tonight in impact was just the fact that Giannis was continuing to go to that pull-up midi. Because since he's taller than Stu, he can just rise up over him. And I think he understands now that he can't just drive to the hoop with Isaiah Stewart, right? Isaiah Stewart is quick enough and he's strong enough, as you mentioned earlier, to body him and keep him out of that area. So he worked on his jumper. If he's able to knock that down consistently, it's going to be tough. But Stu still gave the effort, man. And as long as he continues to give that, I'm happy with that. Fontecchio played solid. He brought some energy tonight, knocked down a couple threes. Ron Holland played solid defense on Dame. I don't know why he didn't play more, to be honest, especially after getting the experience of playing him the first time around a few weeks ago. So what does this loss mean? Well, because the Pistons lost by more than 4 points, the Celtics will likely advance with the only Eastern Conference wildcard spot in the NBA Cup bracket. The Pistons were up 5+ points on the Celtics in point differential coming into this game. But because the Pistons lost by more than that, the Celtics advanced since they both ended up with a record of 3-1. So unfortunately, the Pistons do not advance. And that's okay, because the Pistons finally got their first taste of meaningful basketball when it comes to the eyes of the NBA. And now they can focus on something that means even more: playoff basketball. So what did you see in tonight's game that I may have missed? Let me know down below in the comments and let's talk about it. Appreciate you hanging with your boy. And as always, Detroit versus everybody. Peace.
Rewind 2021. There was a parade in my city. #1 pick, dancing in the street. Everybody was hitting the gritty. Cade arrived in the D, and it was live as can be. They can ball, but we didn't want Green, Mobley, or Scotty B.
No shade.
When he got hurt, everyone lost it. Storylines leaking, no faucet. Caught him washed when he broke his tibia. All the haters, time to get it really, Everybody wanna be Skip Bayless. Wanna throw shade, okay, say less. Dudes went #1 for a reason. It'll click by the end of the season. When he wins most improved player. Gonna be a movie, here's the trailer. Don't say I didn't try to warn ya. Co-signed by Wembanyama.
Cade Cunningham.
He was raised a Texan, but now he's Detroit flexing. Team USA, he was killing them. Got him effed up, let me quote Eminem. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. That's a bunch of gibberish and money lovers act like they forgot about Cade. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. That's a bunch of gibberish and money lovers act like they forgot about Cade.
Forgot about Cade. They forgot about Cade. Forgot about how you forget about Cade.